What's up guys, it's your boy Jordan back with another video, and in this video I'm going to be talking about something most people avoid. The reality is that when you're building an e-commerce business, or any business for that matter, there's a bunch of problems that you're going to run into, and that's the beauty of it. After you push past those problems, you elevate yourself to a higher level because now you know how to pass through that, and it prepares you for the bigger problems to come. But in this video, I want to share with you the main problems that I see happening consistently for my students and the problems that I face in the scaling phases of building my store. These are really consistent, and I'm going to even provide solutions to those problems for you guys if you're currently experiencing them, or if you're not, you'll at least be able to plan ahead, and that's the goal here. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to do it on a PowerPoint presentation, so we're going to get into that. But before we get started, hit that like button and subscribe if you're new. The channel has been growing and it's really awesome to see because we kind of took a pause for a while, but I'm going to keep this content up to date as long as you guys stay active. So let's get into it. Alright, so as I said, I'm going to be sharing the problems to expect during the scaling phase of your store. Listen, if you're brand new, if you're just getting started and you haven't scaled yet, this is still worth watching because you're going to be able to prepare yourself for these problems as they come. And if you are currently scaling, this is a must watch. I wish this video existed before I got started, but let's jump right into it. So listen guys, regardless of what business you build, there's always going to be problems to solve. There really is no way around it. And that, like I said, is the beauty of the process. These problems, when we're faced with them, they make us uncomfortable. They put us in positions that we haven't previously been in. And if we're able to push through those problems and come out of the other side, every single time we come out stronger than we were before and smarter. So basically, these are the problems that I experienced and the problems that I see consistently happening for my students. And some of them are avoidable, but some of them are unavoidable in the starting phase, but you can do your part to alleviate them and minimize them as much as you can. So let's start by talking about each problem overall, and then we'll dive into each one of them individually, and I'll break them down for you guys. So the first one is issues with product quality. The second one is slow shipping times. The third is payment processor issues. And fourth is issues with Facebook. When I say product quality, I mean the actual usability of the product. Is it showing up broken to the customer's house? Is it not doing what it claims it does in the video ads? Are there consistent complaints about the product, its quality, and how it works? Slow shipping times, very self-explanatory. Payment processor issues. Basically, if you don't know, the payment processor is the company that is the intermediary between you and the customer's payment. So if they don't like you, if you have a bad relationship with them, they'll increase the fees on your account, they'll hold more of your money, or they'll outright just ban you from their platform. And then issues with Facebook, we'll talk about that a little bit more as we go on. But in order of importance, I think this is how it is. So most massive e-commerce businesses, I'm going to even verge to say all e-commerce businesses have gone through these issues at one point in time. Like I said, they're sort of unavoidable, but knowing that they are part of the process and knowing that you can improve them for the future is what you need to keep your mind on. And here are my best tips on how to avoid them. So let's get started with product quality, as this is one that a lot of people really just dodge. They don't even really care so much about the product quality, especially when they find that first winning product, and it's so important. So once you notice that your product is starting to scale, try to get your hands on it. And what I mean is order the product, okay? Test it out. If it's something that has a major use, try to use it for that thing. Does it work? Does it not work? You as the seller of this product, even though you're drop shipping, you need to know if the product works. You need to try it out, and you can even use Amazon to cut the order time in half. So if they have this product on Prime, which I'm going to say 70% of products do, you can go ahead and do that, and you'll get the product, you can try it out, you can see if it works, and if it doesn't work, there's a couple things that we can do. So even before you're testing your product, there's stuff you can do to see if the product is good quality. We like to go on Amazon and see what the reviews are like. Now this isn't always accurate because people can very easily get their friends to review, they can buy reviews, there's a lot of different strategies for that, but you can kind of sniff out real and fake reviews. At least I can. It's almost obvious. If the product has 4 reviews, they're all 5 stars, they have barely any text and no images, it's probably fake reviews. But if you see a good amount, like more than 20, there's a mix of stars, 3 stars to 5 stars, and people are posting pictures of them using it, that's a good indicator that, hey, this thing is usable, it's decent. It might not be the perfect product, but it is past the test for us to launch it on our store. So Amazon reviews, YouTube reviews are also a good option. YouTube reviews are good because, let me silence my phone. YouTube reviews are good because it's a little more like personal. You can actually see somebody using the product. And yeah, so that's everything when it comes to avoiding issues with product quality. Now let's talk about if you have a product that is bad quality and you're scaling it, how do you solve that problem? So if you determine the product quality is bad, you need to communicate with your supplier and work towards fixing it. Look, once you start scaling out a product and once you start getting a little bit of results with the product, you need to reach out to that supplier that you're using on AliExpress and let them know that you are doing volume with their product. And listen, if you're having something wrong with the product, like there's a minor feature that needs to be changed or something keeps ending up broken, it's not really that difficult to get that issue solved, especially if you're doing volume. And when I say volume, I don't mean like you have to be doing hundreds of orders a day. Even like 30 to 50 orders a day, like these suppliers will take you seriously and work with you. Some of them. Some suppliers, if you reach out to them, they won't even reply to you. And listen, if that is your scenario, just find somebody else. There's so many options if we're just talking AliExpress. There's so many options for every product. For every product, there's at least 2 or 3 suppliers. So test the waters, reach out to these people, make sure that you can communicate with them, and you're good to go. Option 2 is just seeking out a higher quality alternative product. So listen, in China, they are the masters of finding what works, taking that and rebuilding the product to have a better feature or have something new. A lot of times, if you're having a product that's doing well, you can find a similar version of the product, okay, and then you can sell that product instead. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, take one of the products on your store, start searching around, and you'll see a bunch of clones and copies of the version of product that might be a little better than what you had. And also, if you shipped out a lot of these things, provide your customers some incentive to make up for the issues. Listen, if you order the product after you sold 200 of them or even 100 of them and you notice the product is garbage and it doesn't do what it said, you need to reach out to your customers if you ever want them to come back and shop with you again. Let them know something like, hey, we had a bad batch of products. Here's 20% off for your future purchase. The customer will appreciate that. It will make them much less mad if you're transparent about it than if it just shows up in this garbage yellow wrapped packaging destroyed. Like they're never, ever, ever going to buy from you again. And they're going to tell people that your brand sucks. And you don't want that. So let's jump on to shipping times. But real quick before that, when it comes to product quality as well, if you're finding something that's scaling, try to get off AliExpress. Try to get your own supplier. And like I said, for my course students, for my 0 to 100 students, I connect them with my supplier, and that can be the catalyst that takes you from having a low quality product to working with somebody to improve that. But even if you don't have access to that, you can work with the people on AliExpress. They're suppliers too, but a lot of times it's hard to get that direct form of contact. So let's move on to slow shipping times. In the starting phase, it's pretty much impossible if you're sending products from AliExpress. Like, you don't have control over your supply, unfortunately. You're in this position where you're trying to bootstrap and build up a business, so this is your option for fulfillment. And unfortunately, it is kind of slow. But there's a couple things you can do to avoid the shipping times out of the gate. And the first option is trying to hunt down a better supplier on AliExpress. So look, the best way to test which is the best supplier on AliExpress is to order from multiple of them. It's not a fast process, okay? It's not like you're going to get your decision in 1 week. But if you're trying to use AliExpress, it's a good idea to order from multiple people and compare what the package is going to look like. Because if you're going to be sending thousands of dollars to this person, you want to make sure it's decent. And if you're looking for more on alternative shipping options, I literally have a video called Alternative Fulfillment Options for Dropshipping. It's my most viewed video, but check that out if you're curious. Another thing you can do for searching a better supplier is just look for the supplier with the most reviews. Now, this isn't always going to be accurate, okay? It's not going to be like, oh, this guy with 5 stars and 200 reviews is the best supplier in the world. But a lot of times, it's a good surface level indicator of, hey, this is a good guy. I can at least test this out. Second thing you should do is be extremely transparent. Unfortunately, there is really no like shortcut to this part, guys. You need to be open with your customers, and you could spin it. You could spin it like a couple different ways. Like you could say, for example, due to high demand, delivery will take about like that. Something as simple as that goes a long way. You're still gonna have the angry Joe that's complaining about the shipping and all that, but as long as you're open about the process, most customers are gonna be okay with that, because if they're ordering something from your dropshipping store, they're probably just ordering that as like a pleasure item or something for fun, or maybe they're getting it for one of their friends. A lot of times it's not urgent, so they're not going to be super pissed off if you're just open about the process. And also the third, and I should have highlighted this one, the most important one, is really trying to build a relationship with your supplier. I talked about that with the last one, but I want to emphasize it again on how important it is, because the supplier is who is going to be sending this product to your customers. And if you don't know this person, if you don't have a communication with this person, how can you trust them in the hands of your business reputation, when all it takes to build this relationship is just a reach out saying, hey, I am Billy, I do this, I have this store, we're selling your product, how can you make our life easier? Something along those lines. It works. These people are business people too. They're going to see the benefit in working with you, so work on building a relationship with them. And solving issues with slow shipping times. After building a relationship with your supplier, ask them if they offer any other shipping options or they can expedite your packages. So I'm not an expert when it comes to logistics and fulfillment, but we've scaled pretty massively in that side of things. And what I learned is that there's different tiers to the e-package shipping that gets sent out. If you having a good relationship with your supplier and they have a good relationship with the postal office, they can expedite these packages to get sent faster than what the normal person would get. Because when they're selling on AliExpress, it's not optimized for somebody to purchase and run a business off of those transactions. It's optimized for a consumer. It's optimized for somebody who wants to buy from AliExpress, knows the shipping times, and just place the order. But if you're trying to dropship, if you're trying to lower the shipping times, get into their circle, communicate with them, and they will expedite your packages. And at the very least, at the very, very, very least, they will cut down on the processing time. Because if you're a consumer and you're ordering from AliExpress, like they're gonna try, okay? Most suppliers are gonna try, but they're not gonna forcibly like expedite your processing times as if you reached out to them and asked them. So when you've really validated your product is scaling well, I'm talking at least 30 orders a day, but 50 plus orders a day is a good range. You got to seek out alternative fulfillment options, because there's so many of them. They exist in excess, and they're easy to find. Like I said, for the people in my course, I give them direct access to my supplier, but it's okay. Like, you don't have to be in my course. You can find a fulfillment agent. They exist. They're out there in excess. It's not like there's this massive barrier of entry for you to have somebody to work with. No, there's hundreds and hundreds of these guys. So don't stress about that. Just start doing research. And yeah, that's what I say. Use my suggested shipping agent to begin directly. This is how the process works. You find a product, you sell it on AliExpress, you scale it, it gets a little bit of results. After that, you say, okay, we need to get more control of our shipping. So you go to Alibaba or some other third-party fulfillment. You send that link to one of these shipping agents. They search around in their network of manufacturers. They find you the lowest price possible, and then you place an order with them. They send it to their fulfillment center. Usually they'll integrate like an app with your store, so it's automated, and then you're good to go. That is a really good next step to take after you getting 50 plus orders a day. Even with 30 plus orders a day, it's good, but around that range, you don't know if your product is going to be scaled for the long term. So that's why I say 50. All right, so let's talk about payment processor issues. Listen, payment processors are almost always going to hold your money because of the shitty track record that was left by other dropshippers. When I say this, I mean, a lot of people in the past 2 years start dropshipping businesses, but they don't care about their customers, so they just ship products. They don't really try to improve their shipping times or product quality, and as a result of that, they get crazy amount of chargebacks, crazy disputes, and the payment processors hate that because it hurts the payment processors. Like, these guys have entire departments to deal with chargebacks and deal with fraud, and you're one of the clients that's bringing them all this fraud and this chargebacks? Why would they want to incentivize you to stay if they already have other clients that are cleanly doing business for multi-millions? So I said that to say this. They're almost always going to hold your money if you run it like a traditional dropship store and you don't focus on improving the two things that I shared before. So the only way to really avoid these issues, there is no shortcut. There is no secret hack that I'm going to share with you guys. The only way to really avoid payment process issues in the long term requires time and really building your business the right way. And listen, this is the key right here. If you always run your business with the primary focus on your customer's experience, you will eventually reach a point where payment processors, they don't have a reason to dislike you. They don't have a reason to complain about you as a customer because you're not getting that many chargebacks. You're bringing crazy amount of volume in for them, and it's a great picture. Now, it sounds better on paper than it actually is. The process of getting here takes time. It's not something that you can have set up in a couple weeks, but you are able to control the factors that push you closer to this goal. So long as you're conscious of, hey, I want to take care of my customers, I want to provide a good customer experience, and you're thinking of what's the next step I can do to get there, that's all that you can do, and that's all that you should do. You shouldn't be overwhelmed by the fact of like, oh my God, I'm doing 5K a day right now, but my customers aren't really loving it. Don't let that stress you. Just focus on what you have control over and how you can improve it for everybody. So last point on this is that you shouldn't look for the shortcut. You shouldn't look for this little under the radar method to trick Stripe into never holding your money. Don't look for that. Focus on the long run. Focus on your customers. Focus on providing a good experience because it's much more effective this way and it works way better. So let's talk about solving issues with them if you're already facing them. So if you solve the first two issues presented, the product quality and the shipping times, your problems with processors will drop significantly. And if you just keep your focus on improving the customer experience and understand that it takes time, you will see better results with these people. You'll probably see better results across the board in your business. I really can't stress this enough. This is a big paradigm shift that I had last year and one that I keep very, very, very focused on when it comes to Viral Vault. All that I really care about inside of Viral Vault is helping the people and providing value and getting them results. So the more I do that, surprisingly enough, the more results we get in the business. It's the same thing with dropshipping. It's the same thing with e-com in any realm. You take care of your people, they take care of you. So another option and very, very viable if you're doing some numbers. I would say if you're doing over 50K a month in sales, check this out. You can use merchant processing account with your bank as opposed to Stripe because you're going to get less fees and you're going to get more control. And there was one point that I forgot to put on here, but this is to me the biggest benefit of merchant because we have it with Chase, is you have a direct contact. So with Stripe, you can get a direct contact, but it's really kind of difficult and you have to pay monthly for that. With your bank, you can just call your banker and speak to them and they're going to know you on a first name basis. You might even be able to drive up the street and talk to them if anything's wrong. So if you're scaling massively, look into a merchant processing account. It's not necessary, but it's a little bit better. It's a little step up. And then you can use credit cards to help with cash flow as well, guys. If you're scaling, okay, let me be very clear about this before I go telling y'all to spend money on credit cards. Like, if you're scaling, okay, and you're seeing results on a product, like every day, at least somewhat consistent, seeing profitable numbers, but the only thing holding you back is cash flow, sure, use your credit card to spend a little bit on ads to help fulfill the orders, whatever. But if you're not having any results, if you're not having any success, if you have yet to find a product that is crushing, try to avoid using credit cards, guys. It is really like a bad practice. I mean, I respect the all-in aspect of it. Like, you're like, okay, I'm not giving up. I'm broke, but I'm not giving up. I'm gonna use my credit card to fund everything. I respect it, but listen, if you're down and you haven't found something, don't use credit cards. Okay, I'm gonna get off this tangent right now, but if you have something that's crushing, though, use credit cards. And these are my two that I use. I don't have my wallet next to me, but the MX Gold, I have a couple of them, and I just recently got the Chase Ink card, and it's super awesome, especially for advertising. These cards are great. So that's everything for the payment processor side of things. Like I said, guys, it really comes down to taking care of your customers. there's no shortcut to this stuff. And when I'm teaching you guys this content, like I could have made this video like showing you guys how to make a new Stripe account when your money gets held, and then have a Stripe account for 2 weeks that doesn't get held, and then it eventually gets held. That's a shortcut. That's going to put some money in your pocket for 2 weeks. But I like thinking about long term. I like thinking about how I can help you guys build a real business that's going to be around for years. And focusing on taking care of your customers is the way that you're going to be doing that. So let's now talk about the main issues with Facebook. Then we'll tie it all together, and then we'll close this video out. I want to keep it short for you guys. So the main things that Facebook will do is shutting down or banning your ad accounts / business managers. I never lost a business manager, but I have lost a couple ad accounts inside my business manager. Really, this isn't as bad of a problem as people make it out to be, because you can solve it quite easily. But anyways, the other thing is low feedback score. So every time a customer purchases from your website, usually within a week, the customer, or a little bit longer, usually within a month, the customer is going to get a survey pop up on their Facebook feed, like an ad saying, hey, how did you like your purchase from eCom Accelerators? And the customer is going to have a couple forms to fill out. Listen, if you're doing a shitty job with your customers, if you're not taking care of them, they're going to constantly fill out that list with 0 out of 5, 0 out of 5, 1 out of 5, 2 out of 5. And this information doesn't just whoosh go over Facebook head. They take it, they put it into their system. Well, an AI robot does, but they put it into the system and they drop the score on your page. They drop the score, they drop the score, they drop the score. And as they drop the score, you lose more in the auction. You don't get your ad placed as much. Your ads deliver way worse than they normally would. And this is not some Facebook theory or Facebook myth. This is very real technology, and you can look it up for yourself. And then lastly is inconsistencies. I have a whole video on solving the inconsistencies, so we don't have to go too much into that now, but we will. So yeah, let's talk about solving these issues. So when it comes to shutting down your ad account, the best piece of advice I can give for this is use your own content. Because the main reason why you would get your stuff shut down is if you were using someone else's video, they saw it, they put a DMCA or DCMA or DAMC, whatever it's called, they put a complaint in, and it doesn't shut you down right away, but you'll get a strike from Facebook. They'll say, hey, this person complained, we turned your video off. If you get 3 of those, sometimes you can get more, but most of the time it's 3. If you get 3 of those, Facebook account is done. Your Facebook ad account will be shut down. Sometimes if you get 1, your Facebook account is done. It's not something that you want to play with. When I teach people to edit those videos with the other people's content and launch it, that is to test the product, guys. That is to get a little bit of results, see if the product has potential, and then after you get some results, reinvest that money into getting somebody to actually create some good content. It's just the best way to do things. Not only is it the best way, but it's the safest way if you're trying to build something long term. All right, so with the low feedback score, I feel like you guys already know what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it anyways. You got to improve the customer experience. There's no other way to put it. There is no shortcut for this one either. And one of my friends, I'm not going to reveal anything about their business, but my friend Han, you guys maybe see me on Instagram talking to him and stuff. They're doing like millions on their store. Like they're going to hit 8 figures this year with their store, which is insane. And they was telling me how different their ads performed once they got a low feedback score, because they scaled their store to crazy numbers, like over 7 figures a month. And what happened is that with that level of supply, their customer experience dropped off because they're just focused on send it, send it, send it, send it, send it. Their profitability, if I'm not mistaken, dropped like 50%. So when they tailored everything, when they went back in there and they started tweaking everything with the customer experience, like getting custom packaging, getting things to ship out faster, they've been climbing like 0.3 points like every 2 weeks in their feedback score. And as a result of that, their ads are killing it. You can check out my boy Han on Instagram, Han Z Drip. One of the freshest kids I know, super smart with ecom. They do 7 figures a month. But anyways, what I'm getting at is that you need to focus on your customers. And let me make one more point. If you're in the starting phase, right, you don't have any sales, you don't have a successful business, or you don't even have a profitable business, you just need to focus on getting some results. Just focus on finding that first product that brings you in some numbers and gets profitable. You don't need to think about all this customer experience stuff from day one, but you need to be thinking that it's going to be your long-term vision. So what I'm suggesting is that when you're first starting, test, get some results, and then reinvest that back into the business, back into your customer experience, and it'll pay dividends forever, for at least a couple months, and at the best experience, a couple years with an exit at the end. And as for the inconsistencies, listen, just if you're scaling out a product, keep testing new creatives. It's the one thing that gets results, and the one thing that most people aren't doing is just testing new ads every day. Think about it. If you're using this one platform and this platform is doing so good getting you results with this one ad, imagine if you test a new ad every day. Every week you're going to find at least one new creative that crushes it. Most people, they find this winning product, they narrow down on this winning product, and they don't care to, let me specify, they narrow down on this winning creative, and they don't care to test anything else because they think that they found this magic needle in the haystack creative. It's not like that. You can test new creative and you can see results. So when you're scaling, constantly test new creatives and leverage other traffic sources. You know, they're out there, especially Google and email. Definitely set up your email right and work to get Google ads running, because it'll help you with the inconsistencies on your store. So here's the key takeaway from the business. And listen, I'm pretty sure you guys can already guess this, but listen, if I'm ever repeating something over and over and over again, it's because you guys need to start doing it. And the key takeaway of this video is you need to place your primary focus on customer experience. If you want to avoid these issues for the long term, and if you want to solve these issues if you're currently experiencing them, then this is where you need to place your focus. There's no other way to put it. And if you do this, everything will begin to work in your favor and these problems will solve themselves. Understand that it takes time to build something great. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't even happen in a month, not even 2 months. In 2 months, you can get a business profitable, but in 2 months, you can't build a massive conglomerate with employees and hundreds of happy customers. It takes time. But taking the shortcuts are not going to be the way to get there. Taking the shortcuts with the payment processors, taking the shortcut by scaling with other people's content, taking the shortcut by selling people shitty quality products, while it brings you money today, is not going to bring you money a year from now. And even if it does, it's not going to last for the long term. And that's what we want. We want something that has potential to last for years, or at the very least is potential to be sold. Okay, if you want to make the most money, that's the two routes. And realistically, to get to the point where it can be sold, you need to take the route of the long-term approach. So that's pretty much everything for this video. And this PowerPoint, this content came from my 0 to 100 program. I ripped this PowerPoint out of there because I felt like this was something that you guys needed to know. And I wanted to give you guys a little sample of what is inside of there. Now, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I've been placing all of my focus on Viral Vault. It is my pride and joy. I work every single day on this thing, and in a year or less, it'll become the largest product research company on the market. But I said that to say this: the 0 to 100 program is something that I put a lot of energy into, and something that I spent at least the last year and a half building and adding new content to. And I wasn't ready to just kill it and let it die, so I wanted to keep it running for a little while longer. And I wanted to also let you guys know that when I close it, it won't be opening back up again. I'm thinking about integrating it into the Viral Vault somehow, so it will be closed within the next month. So listen, if you're interested in learning a system that I have used and helped other people to get their first results and beyond in e-commerce, check out my 0 to 100 program. I've been updating the content for a year and a half, and I would love to see you guys check it out, because I want more people to watch it, man. We only had a few hundred people join the course, and I spent hours and hours and hours creating the content. And the people that have gone through all the content and applied it have built some great stuff. But listen, enough of that. Enough talking about my program. I want to say thank you for watching this video. I appreciate you guys for rocking with me through all this stuff that's going on. And I'm super excited for what's to come. Viral Vault, like I said, is my pride and joy. You guys, if you haven't already been seeing, I've been doing what needs to be done and scaling this thing massively. So keep rocking with me, guys. Stay tuned. 2019 is going to be the best year that I've ever had. It already is showing that way, and I want it to be the same for you guys. So as for this video, that's everything, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.